You know what? I really thought that later this year, the iPhone 16 Pro would, in a way, impress me. But the funny part is that it kinda did, but not as much as this one. Because this one, can you believe that it came earlier at January 2024? And usually phones that come later that year are usually better in some way or the other. But this one is one I would still say the king of 2024, and I'm still interested to talk about it. So yeah, let's get on with it. All right, let's roll the intro.
If I can't, you don't like, 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 you don't like. If I can't, you don't like, you don't like. If I can't, you don't like, you don't like. If I can't, you don't like, you don't like. If I can't, you don't like, you don't like. If I can't, you don't like.
The Galaxy S24 Ultra. So right off the bat, the word Ultra is supposed to be signifying something top tier, top of the line, the best in both paper and in real world usage. So the S24 Ultra kind of marks the same. So if you're one with these things in mind, well, I would say look no further, because why in the world would you want to look for something else when you have this? Let me explain. So let's say you're obsessed with top-notch craftsmanship, right? You want a phone that feels good in your hands as it looks, right? Well, the S24 Ultra would be an absolute sight to both see and hold. Rock solid in the hand, heart touching to the core with that majestic boxy corners, and of course, this comes with the new titanium frame. I kinda dig this titanium trend that is going on. The feel, however, is kinda different. I don't quite know how to explain it. I don't know whether if it's the texture of the frame, but I can definitely say that something is different. I don't know, but it could just be me. So this is the titanium gray, which is the default color of titanium metal. It's equivalent to iPhone 16 Pro's natural titanium color. I mean, it's the default color of how titanium would be in nature. This also comes in titanium black, violet, blue, green, orange, and a newer titanium yellow. Anyway, this is indeed an iconic design that Samsung has carried out with the S23, and the only difference here is that now the display is completely flat. There is no more curved edges, which I would say is a welcome improvement. One small nick of this entire design is that the corners are very sharp. So if the corners are touching your palm, which normally it would, then it would, start paining after a while of single-handed usage. But if you're a person who tends to use the phone with two hands, then it's totally fine. I think at this point you should be using this phone with two hands because, it's a behemoth. Alright, so let's say that you're obsessed with getting the perfect smartphone screen, right? Then you and me would have these absolute three pillars in mind: resolution, refresh rate, and peak max brightness. Check this out, Dynamic AMOLED 2X, which is Samsung's fancy way of saying that it's an organic LED display. Alright, anyways, 1440 by 3120 Quad HD resolution, good for a pixel density of 501 ppi with dynamic 120Hz refresh rate, with a peak brightness of 2600 nits, protected by Corning Gorilla Armor. Now look, I know that it's not the brightest display in 2024 because the Google Pixel 9 Pro peaks up to 3000 nits, which is crazy. The bezels are even thinner this year and is very uniform across the borders. They got rid of those curved edges, so now it's completely a flat slab, which is of course, again, a welcome improvement. But I would kinda give it to this one because of the anti-glare reflective coating, which does a pretty good job removing most of the reflections from the screen, making it more immersive. Although I gotta say that it takes a little bit of brightness away, so you know, it's a bit of a give or a take at this point. And in fact, I recommend you to check it out on a local electronics store or a Samsung store and compare it with other flagships and see what you like. Now, in case if you are wondering about the anti-reflective coating, well, that is only applied on the S24 Ultra, and the S24 or the S24 Plus don't have that. One more thing that is worth mentioning here is that all of the S24 lineup have an always-on display that shows the entire wallpaper. Wait a minute. I have seen that somewhere. Yep, of course, you guessed it right. It definitely mimics the iPhone style of always-on display. Now, if you don't want the system to show the wallpaper on always on display, it's fine, you can always turn it off in settings, but in my opinion, keeping the wallpaper on for the always on display is more aesthetically pleasing for me. With all of that said, I can definitely say in confidence that the Galaxy S24 Ultra has one of the best display ever in the smartphone industry. So now let's say that you are that geek who wants nothing but high performance when you look for flagship smartphone. Well, I would say again, look no further because this guy can handle almost anything you throw at it. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 4nm natively constructed, Adreno 750 GPU with 12 gigs of RAM and starts at 256 gigs of UFS 4.0 storage. In real world, this phone paces through normal use and it's fast and fluid. And I think Samsung has also done an impressive job with One UI 6.1, just making the animations and overall system responsiveness much more smoother and enjoyable. And also, it's a Snapdragon chip, so unlike Samsung's Exynos chip that tends to give out a lot of heat regardless of the usage pattern of the system, this one doesn't. Games also run great on this phone. Obviously, as expected, everything is buttery smooth. I don't know how well the optimization goes with the Android in terms of games, but of course, this phone tends to run everything like a champ. So first up is Geekbench, which will reveal our single core and multi-core scores. So about a single core score of 2212 and a multi-core score of 6637, on par with the A17 Pro chip of the iPhone 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max. Next up is 3D Mark, which will reveal our OpenGL and graphics processing of the GPU powered by Adreno 750. So for that, I have no idea why it showed up like this. I retried it again and again, even quit the app and I restarted the system itself, but unfortunately it wouldn't show up the score. It would simply say that it was maxed out, so I don't even know why, but yeah, you get the idea. It is powerful enough. Now about the A18 Pro versus the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, well of course I would definitely say that the A18 is better, but still in real world usage you wouldn't even notice. Okay, so this part is for the ones who see the world through their smartphone lens. Yeah, I'm talking about that geeks over there who would like to push the boundaries of smartphone photography. Well, again, I would say look no further, again, because this guy obviously has the best in-class behemoth of a camera system. Now when it comes to the camera, the Galaxy S series lineup, especially the Ultra, had some pretty amazing out-of-the-world camera systems, and the S24 Ultra is definitely not an exception. And spoiler alert, this might be the single best deal breaker for you, so if you're even not interested in the camera, well, this one will definitely amaze you. But you know what? Let me tell you the numbers. So this is a quad sensor system, meaning there are 4 cameras. Yes, you heard me right, 4. So the main sensor consists of a 200 megapixel 24mm lens with f1.7 aperture, the ultra-wide sensor being a 12 megapixel 13mm f2.2 aperture, the periscope telephoto sensor, which is a 50 megapixel f3.4 111mm with 5x optical zoom, and finally another telephoto sensor, which is a 10 megapixel 67mm f2.4 with 3x optical zoom. Sheesh, now that's a lot of of cameras. Now I'm not gonna say much because the numbers speak for themselves and the photos that come out of the system is just mind-blowing. This system captures a lot of detail with the right exposure at the right time. It is as if it was taken with a fully fledged DSLR camera. When it comes to the main sensor, by default, the system captures the image at 12 megapixels. But in Camera Viewfinder, you can adjust the resolution of the picture that you want to be taken. So you have the default 12 megapixel preference. You can also select 50 megapixels and a mind-boggling full 200 megapixel option. Now the first image is a default 12 megapixel photo that I have taken. So if you crop in, you can see the amount of detail. Now I have taken the same image at 50 megapixel and here's the cropped view of that. Now here's a 200 megapixel shot of that same image and with the same amount of crop. So you can just see the magnitude of resolution that the system is able to capture at 200 megapixels. Now of course, in order to capture these high resolution pictures, there needs to be a lot of light. So I would recommend staying at 12 megapixels if it's low light. So here are some pictures that I have taken of my friends back at my college and you can definitely see the quality of this system. It is extreme to the point where I actually have to mention this again. Yes, it gets to the DSLR level of photography. Now night shots obviously look great from these sensors. The photo quality looks extremely unified for a quad camera system and I am very impressed by how uniform these photos captured from different sensors of the camera system look regardless of the harsh lighting conditions. Now as for the video, the system can record up to 8K at 30 FPS, which is just extreme. The system also captures 4K at 120 FPS. Now let's speak of the 100x zoom. Wait, why would you want this again? Because, I mean, surely you don't intend to, zoom into a private property and see what they've been up to, right?
Oh, hell
Wait. Alright. Don't give me that crap, oh, you're gonna take pictures of the moon all day, that kind of stuff. Because, I mean, clearly, would you really do that all day? I don't know, alright? That's up to you. But, the freaky stuff aside, all I have to say is that you don't need to worry about your neighbor with that zoom. I'm talking about you, yeah. Now, this is a special feature request from me, so gods of Google, if you're listening to me, in the next version of Android, please bring the newer image compression format called .jxl or JPEG XL so that the size of the image can dramatically be reduced, especially the ones of the 200 megapixel ones that the S24 Ultra captures. Because it's getting to a point where HEIF is no longer effective at saving space, so, please. Now as for the front-facing camera, it's a 12 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture and it can also record up to 4K at 60 FPS. I mean, you get the picture now, right? You definitely and most positively have a cinema-grade camera system right here. And I can definitely say that this camera system is definitely worthy of the name Ultra. So now let's say keeping your phone alive all day is your #1 priority, right? Well, look no further because again, this guy has a 5000 milliamp hour, yes, you heard me right, 5000 mAh battery. Now as for the battery life, well, this phone lasts you a day with heavy usage and yes, I had to say it like that cause it's, impossible to kill this phone in a day with typical usage. You really have to try hard to drain it and I really tried to kill this one and it got to the point where I was tired and I had to recharge. Now as for Samsung, in my opinion, is not the best when it comes to battery life, but I can definitely say that the S24 Ultra has solid battery life and is on par with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So now let's talk about all the other useful features such as the S Pen, and you know what, I almost forget its existence every single time. Now its usage will definitely vary for some people, especially for the geeks who take notes on their phones, and I really gotta say, Samsung definitely nailed the integration of S Pen along with Samsung Notes over the years, and you can literally take notes without even waking the phone. You just pop the S Pen out and the system automatically launches the dark mode version of the notes and you write whatever you want and keep the S Pen back, and the system auto-saves it and you can access it later, and it works every single time. You can also take pictures remotely when the S Pen is out, and it also has this over-the-air gestures, which I think is hideous by the way, but okay, I guess. And now for the most useful headlighting features of this phone, and it's literally Galaxy AI. Now right away I'm gonna call this as Galaxy because I'm way too lazy to say Galaxy AI. Now Samsung uses the term advanced intelligence across One UI, and well, that's just a fancy way of saying artificial intelligence. Now with One UI 6.1 and Android 14 comes Galaxy AI, which is applicable to the models that support One UI 6.1, but the S24 lineup gets it all. Now I'm just gonna briefly point out all the AI features here. The first one being Circle to Search, which is even there for the stock Android update, so I would not even consider it as a part of Galaxy, but for me it's really convenient to search for any object or article which I don't even know the name of. So next one is Notes Summary, which is integrated into Samsung Notes. So basically this feature speaks for itself. You can write certain notes and you can click on this little AI icon to summarize the notes, and it will generate the summary for you, which I think is pretty sweet. But it gets better because this integration extends to Samsung Internet. So if you're in a website that has an article, you can summarize the article by hitting that AI button, and again it will generate the draft of that summary. Now that is really dope and actually useful. Next one is called Live Translate. Now Live Translate allows you to talk to a person of different native language, and it all happens in real time. There's also one more feature called Interpreter, and this one does the same but in real life. I think the Galaxy S24 Ultra would be the king of smartphones.
أعتقد أن جالاكسي S24 ألترا سيكون ملك الهواتف الذكية.
And the last one is also pretty dope and kinda overwhelming, which is Galaxy with Samsung Gallery called Photo Assist. Just select the photo that you want to edit and hit the AI button, and it will take you straight to the AI editor. Now you can do two things here. One, let's say you want to remove a subject. Now this can be a person or an object, and you can erase that completely, and the system does generate a fill to make it seem that if it wasn't there in the first place. Now let's say you have taken the picture just right, but you need to move the person. Well, you can actually tap and hold in the editor and then do so, and then the system does generate a filling, and it works like a charm. Now I'm not saying that it's perfect, but with photos without complex background, this seems to work best. Now there's just one more thing in the AI editor. So you can actually draw something if you are intending to add something to an image that wasn't there in the first place. So let's say that this is a photo of my dad sitting, and let's say I need to add a fire torch here because of the wooden fence right here. This was just a random idea that we had, so I just do the drawing here with the S Pen, and well, let's see. And there you go. I don't have anything else to say. Well, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And this is definitely wild. And you can do so much more if you have the right idea. There's just so much to explore here. Now this may seem so overwhelming to the point where you don't even know what's real and what's not. I mean, would you believe that if I were to say that I was AI? Yeah, no. I'm not AI, alright? I'm definitely real. Jeez, come on, man. Whoa. Enough with the glitching. I'm definitely real. I'm joking. I'm definitely real, alright? I'm not AI. There you go. So let's talk about the pricing. The S24 Ultra starts from 256 gigs at $12.99 US, and it can go all the way up to 1 TB for $16.59 US. Now these are catalog pricings with reference from Samsung website, so the pricing may vary from region to region. So be sure to check your local electronics or Samsung store near you. So there you go, the Galaxy S24 Ultra checks every box and beyond of a flagship with a stunning design, an extreme display, a behemoth of of a camera system and battery along with Galaxy that hosts a ton of useful features to combat with real-life scenarios. With all these features, I can definitely say that the S24 Ultra remains the king even as of the last quarter of 2024. So, what do you think about the Galaxy S24 Ultra and which color would you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, thanks a ton for watching. This is Sachin and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.